Story 1. My girlfriend just broke up with me, but I am secretly happy because her teenage daughter is out of control and an entitled brat. It also hurts at the same time. Story 2. I'm burnt out because my children have special needs and require a lot of medical care. It has been an extremely rough few months with some very scary moments. One time, I genuinely thought my daughter would die. Because they can still attend a regular school and live a relatively normal life, people do not see the challenges we face at home. We have no support system at all, literally no one. I will never tell them or show them. They need me to be okay and relentlessly positive, so that is what I am for them. Story 3. I secretly hate my wife's homemade macaroni and cheese. Other people love it, and the kids do too, but it's not for me. I eat it because she is proud of it, and I do not want to make her sad. Note, it is not bad macaroni and cheese, at least according to everyone else. It gets requested for events frequently. I just do not like it. Story 4. I won the lottery, a small amount but significant enough, and haven't told anyone in my family. Edit. For everyone who has direct messaged me, yes, I will absolutely share 1,000 euros, but first you must send me 10 euros to cover the transfer fee. Thank you in advance. Story 5. I have no idea what I am doing with my life, and I am afraid of the future. Story 6. I am holding on by a thread most days, but if I am not the calm person in the family, people become upset, so I suffer in silence. Story 7. I pretend to hate dancing, but I have been taking dance lessons and attending a social dance every weekend for about 4 to 5 months in preparation for a big family event. Story 8. My secret is that I often fantasize about an apocalypse where I am left all alone, and it sounds like a perfect utopia. It almost makes me want to gather a survival backpack, call myself Dora, and patiently wait for the headline "World is collapsing." Story 9. I work extra hours from Monday to Thursday and bank the time off in lieu. On Friday, I finish work 4 hours early, drive to a car park near my home on the coast, and spend 4 hours sitting there, drinking coffee and reading to get some peace and quiet. My family thinks I am at work. My wife thinks I leave early for work to avoid traffic. Since this received more attention than I expected, my wife also has her own time, and we go places together as well. I know she goes out while I am at work, not because I snoop, but because she leaves receipts in her clothes pockets, which I empty before washing her clothes. Story 10. When I go to the restroom at work, it only takes me about 3 minutes, but I scroll through Reddit for an extra 5 minutes. Story 11. I was a drug addict for 2 years to the point where I was just living to get high. However, it never broke me. I still went to work and made a living for myself. I was never in debt, nor did my relationships with the people I love get bad. I have been clean for 8 years, but I do miss those moments of feeling high as a kite. Also, I have always wondered what breast milk tastes like. Story 12. At least once a day, I contemplate running away from everything and everyone just to find some peace. Story 13. I love being alone. It is very relaxing and refreshing. Story 14. I love one of my cats more than the other. It is a secret, though, because all kittens need love. Story 15. I fantasize about packing up my life and moving to a town where no one knows me in order to start over, without telling anyone where I am going. I am not unhappy with where I am. I live a pretty good, comfortable life. I just feel stuck, and I feel like the only way I can get out is by keeping it a secret and moving on. Story 16. I was taken advantage of in my early teens by an older woman, which led to her pregnancy. Now I am in my early 20s, a single father with full custody and no help. The truth is, I hate my life. I struggle with the terrible thoughts I have, which make me feel like I am a bad person. Story 17. No one at work knows that I am quitting before Christmas. I am going the franchise route. I just signed a lease. Architects are already involved, so we can shop contractors and proceed with the build-out. I have been working on this since the beginning of the year. I make quite a decent amount of money at my current place, but the industry is declining, the job is soul-sucking, changing jobs is nearly impossible for me, and I work 7 days on and off 12-hour midnight shifts. I do not want to miss any more holidays or important life events. My child is 5 years old. I want to coach Little League. I want to be able to attend a concert or show whenever I want. I cannot do the things I want to do in life with my current job. Story 18. I hate the life I am building. I hate every aspect of the skills I am sharpening just to earn a living. Every day, I feel more depressed, and I have no idea if I will love myself in a few years. Story 19. I am a horrible person but act good. Edit. Love you all. Story 20. I have a hard time feeling emotions when people I know or knew die. I know it is horrible for the person and the people close to them, but I do not feel it. Music does work sometimes. Story 21. I have 14 unique email accounts and accompanying voice over internet protocol lines solely established to obtain various deals and promotions throughout the year. At first, I did this to get free or discounted food in college. Then I realized that stores offer big discount coupons and birthday rewards. From there, it expanded to the point where I use these accounts to get discounted or free short-term memberships at establishments. I keep an ongoing spreadsheet to track which deals I have used versus those remaining each month for each email. On days when I actually buy items, I use my primary account to make the purchase and accumulate points. I am aware of email salting and use it as well, but some sites and applications have caught on and implemented defenses against this. Story 22. I pretend that I know what I am doing and what is happening, when in reality I am lost and scared to death about everything. Story 23. I was an alcoholic from 18 until 30 and have been sober since New Year's of this year. I had addictions to cocaine, morphine, codeine, and Adderall on and off throughout my 20s, but have been clean since New Year's of this year as well. Story 24. I am not happy. I have a decent job, an amazing family, great friends, and a wife who cares about me. But despite all that, I am not really happy. I have been doing a great job of faking it, putting on a mask that makes everyone think I have it all together. But inside, I feel stuck in a constant state of indifference, like I am just going through the motions. I have tried making more time for the things I used to love, like gaming and watching sports, things that should bring me joy, but something still feels missing every time. Even when I do those things, I am still not happy, and it is starting to get exhausting pretending everything is fine when it is not. I just want to feel proud of my work and get that spark back from doing the things I love. But lately, it feels like no matter what I do, I cannot break out of this cycle. It is difficult. I do not know how to fix it. I just want to feel joy. Story 25. I have no goals, ambitions, or purpose in life, but my entire family sees me as the well-adjusted and normal one. Story 26. Wrote this when I started my shift today. I didn't think it would get this much attention. Your secrets are securely safe. Story 27. I drink because that is the only time I feel most at peace with myself. Story 28. When my wife is out, I secretly watch videos of animals being rescued and sit there crying. Story 29. In an effort to spice up a boring dungeon crawl, my character has been hiding a cursed ladle in the pack of another player. Every time they get rid of the ladle, my character puts a new one in their bag at night when on watch. They have spent gold trying to get rid of it, and it keeps coming back. I am going to hide a ladle in their house the next time I am over. Then my character will say they found a way to transfer the curse to a random person before revealing the location of the hidden ladle in real life. Story 30. If I could spend the rest of my life without having to speak another word, it would be amazing. I love listening to nature and music and just reading. Story 31. I took Ozempic and it changed my life. I now eat well and exercise regularly, but I do not tell people I took it because of the shame that came with it. I went from 360 pounds to 230 pounds and feel incredible. Story 32. My friends think I am always happy because I joke around at every opportunity one get. I actually feel very depressed. Story 33. Other than existing, I have no real plans. Not for the foreseeable future, not for tomorrow, not even for today. My family loves me. My wife would become a single mother of two, so I am just kind of here, helping out how I can and trying not to get in the way. Story 34. I stopped smoking cannabis and being a barber, owning my own barber shop. I got a really good job and married a wonderful, deeply Christian woman for whom I changed. I really miss my old life. I miss giving the best drop skin fades known to man in my own shop and smoking the best cannabis afterward. Story 35. I am always grumpy during the first hour of my shift at work because I have to work, regardless of the starting time. Story 36. I am addicted to water to the point that I could not live without it. Story 37. I hate my life and think about suicide daily, but I won't follow through because of how much it would hurt my mother. I am turning into an alcoholic just to numb the pain. My ex and I broke up a while back, and I am secretly happier without her. However, if you ask anyone else, I am a wreck. Story 38. I am a metalhead who also secretly listens to sea shanties and can sing some of them. Story 39. I live close to a Planet Fitness and can connect to their rockbot. So when I'm bored, I queue up some interesting songs like the Zoe 101 theme song and Hannah Montana. Story 40. Erectile dysfunction medication and anti-anxiety medication work well together. Story 41. I have 3 birthday parties this week. I successfully avoided one of them and am thinking of ways to avoid the other 2. Story 42. 3 men can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. Story 43. I drink sometimes when no one is around, but everyone I know thinks I do not drink at all. Story 44. I regret my career severely. I thought I would only do this until I could find what I truly love. Then it took off under my feet, and I became rather successful in a short amount of time. I continue to do it because of the lifestyle it provides my wife and kids. They are able to do many things and cherish many moments. I know I will be able to retire early and enjoy my life down the road. But the grind has exhausted me. Story 45. One time, a girl called me at 3 a.m. when I was a senior in high school. She was very attractive, and I thought this was my chance. She said her car ran out of gas and needed some. No problem, she wasn't far from me. I grabbed a red gas can from my grandmother's shed and drove out to her. She had a group of very drunk friends with her, and she seemed pretty intoxicated and had been driving. I filled up the tank because what was I supposed to do? Refuse? Well, she turned the key, and there was complete silence. I checked to see why and said, "Your battery is dead. I don't have jumper cables. Call a tow truck." Then I left. As I put the gas can back in my car, a strong smell of kerosene hit me in the face, and I got out of there as fast as possible. I never could face her again to tell her I put kerosene in her tank. Story 46. I secretly hope that one of my friends invites me to hang out or at least messages me. I did a social experiment with my friends because I felt I was the only one who wanted these conversations since I was always initiating. I stopped texting them and visiting their houses. It has been 4 months since then. I did not receive any invitations for a trip or a gaming session. I think it's because I am different from others, like I am weird and noisy. I often show up unannounced at their houses. I am just being myself. To clarify, I just wanted to know if they would say hello if I suddenly went offline. Story 47. I put myself in $40,000 of credit card debt throughout COVID and ignored it, probably due to anxiety and depression. I did not tell anyone for years because I was embarrassed. I finally told my girlfriend a year ago, which pushed us to the brink of breaking up. With her love and help financially and emotionally, I have paid half of it down already and have a plan to pay it off completely in the next year or 2. I have even been able to start saving for an engagement ring. None of my friends or family know about it still. Story 48. I saved my friend's life when we were deployed to Iraq. The only people who know were there. I have never told anyone. The attention feels strange. I am also pretty sure I have severe post-traumatic stress disorder, but I have never asked for help. I feel ashamed talking about it. It has been 15 years and I am managing. Story 49. I take everything personally, but I act like I do not care because I am too proud and cannot have people thinking they have any power over me. Story 50. I have never seen a Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings movie from start to finish, only bits and pieces. Story 51. I would really like to start dating and meet a great woman, but I am afraid my past behaviors will come back and ruin it. So I sabotage every good opportunity one get. I am not like my past self anymore. I would go as far as to say I am a good man now, But I used to be a reprehensible person, and the prospect of that returning haunts me. If I did become him again, I would rather hurt as few people as possible. Story 52. I have grand illusions about packing up and running away from nothing, from my life. Nearly 40, living alone, no significant other or children, and no pets. I get the notion to go on a road trip to nowhere. I am someone who does not plan for anything but is also seemingly prepared for anything. I am odd. Story 53. My chronic pain is worse than I let on. I live an extremely isolated life and I work from home. As such, I rarely leave my house. I was in a car crash years ago that severely injured my back and knee, and I have a hard time walking. I have had migraines since childhood, and they are becoming more debilitating. I injured my ankle 2 years ago, and it never healed properly. I only have about 80% range of motion. I am in some degree of pain every waking moment. I have been in pain every day for 8 years. Heat or ice usually numbs it enough for me to move around, but it still hurts. I have difficulty being in normal lighting because of my migraines. Walking up and down stairs is painful. Being alive is exhausting. I am very tired. Being in pain is exhausting. I want to sleep anytime I am not working or taking care of my pets. I am missing out on my life. I can hardly leave the house because it hurts. I sleep whenever I can, but even that is difficult because I cannot lie flat on my back, and lying on my sides hurts my knees and hips. Everyone is living their life, and I am falling behind because I can hardly move. Life is passing me by, and there is nothing I can do about it. I refuse to take opioids because addiction runs deep in my family history. I have done physical therapy, and it helps but not enough. I have been to the doctor, had x-rays, and undergone various tests, but there is nothing that can be done. The only thing that helps is medical marijuana, but I cannot rely on that 100%, and I cannot do much other than enjoy not being in pain. However, if I am impaired, I cannot spend time with other people, and it is not safe to leave the house because I live somewhere that requires driving to get anywhere. I cannot ask people to come to me if I am just impaired when they arrive. That is a difficult way to live. There is no solution. I am so tired. Story 54. I have a secret female alter ego, and I also come from a very religious family. I went to a gay bar dressed completely as a woman. Felt liberating, as if my inner woman came out. I went 5 times, but I haven't gone back since last week. I hope to go again when my family is out of town. Story 55. I always thought I was a lesbian because I was not interested in any man or guy. I had only had girlfriends until I met my now boyfriend for the second time. The first time I met him was at driving school when I had a girlfriend. The second time I met him was at a techno festival. Stared at him because he was cute. He came up to me and said he knew me from somewhere but couldn't remember where, and he said I was pretty. I was too embarrassed to tell anyone except 2 friends that I am apparently bisexual. I was very confused because I was truly convinced I only liked girls. Story 56. I am 40 years old and still single. I tell everyone that marriage is not for me, but deep down inside, I want to be married and have children to hold and watch grow up. Story 57. Having to euthanize our dogs has really affected me more than any human death I have experienced. It has been 9 months. Story 58. I have never loved someone as much as I love the girl I met in 7th grade. I instantly fell for her. I am 30 now, and I still feel the same way I did when I was 12. She was my best friend until we were around 25 and slowly drifted apart. Nothing happened to cause it, we were just busy with jobs and being adults. I am so proud of her and what she has accomplished. All the dreams and goals she wanted to achieve, such as becoming a lawyer, helping people, and becoming a mother. She did all of that, and I am very proud of her every day. However, the pain I feel knowing it will never be more than a friendship absolutely kills me inside. I do not want to be alive most days. I have become completely numb to everything. I am not entitled to a relationship with anyone, and you cannot force someone to love you. I know this. It just hurts deeply knowing I will never be with her. I want to experience life with no one else but her. I have had girlfriends, but I never felt about them the way I do about her. I would give everything I have just to be with her. She does not know I still feel this way about her. I hope that one day I will be able to make peace with all of this. But until then, I hope I am not harmed. Story 59. Sometimes I skip lunch at work and go to the movies when going from one office building to the next. People are just happy I show up at both offices. Story 60. I am not suicidal, but I genuinely cannot see myself growing older and would not be too opposed to everything just ending in my sleep. Story 61. I have been watching YouTube since I woke up. It has been over 8 hours. Story 62. I think all babies look like potatoes on drugs. Challenge me. Story 63. I have a few challenges, but currently this one is the biggest. I come from a very toxic and abusive home, and neither of my parents were good examples. My mom didn't drink, smoke, or do anything harmful. But my dad, on the other hand, was a raging alcoholic and smoked constantly. He sexually abused me while I was growing up, as did my grandfather and a few other people. I joke about it because I don't know how to cope with the trauma. Yes, I have been to therapy, but it did not really help. I started smoking when I was 13 and haven't stopped since, although I switched over to vaping, cannabis, and alcohol. Everyone in my family knew about the vaping, but they are convinced I stopped because I convinced them I did. It was true for about a week. My whole family praises me for being so strong to have quit and not relapsed. Little do they know I go home and cry myself to sleep, high or drunk, every night. I am ashamed, but such is life. Story 64. I consume cannabis daily, including during work hours. Fortunately, no one has noticed, and my close friends say they cannot tell the difference. I also like to come home early from work occasionally and enjoy some quiet, relaxing time alone. I do not always inform my girlfriend. Story 65. I hate being woken from sleep, even if it is an emergency. If my mother needs help because she is not feeling well in the middle of the night, I do wake up. My mind becomes alert, and I try my best to attend to her needs, but all I can think about is being in my bed sleeping. Even when I am not feeling well, it takes excruciating pain for me to get out of bed. My mother thinks I am selfish, and maybe I am, but I just hate being woken up from my sleep, especially when I know if the roles were reversed, I would not do that to anyone. I would rather her think I am selfish and need to work on myself than let her know it is as simple as I hate being woken up. Story 66. I am miserable every second of my life, but I keep lying to myself that everything is going to be all right, and that I just need to do this thing and everything will settle. Everyone who knows me thinks I am the most positive person, but I just do not want to live. To be honest, I see no future for myself. Story 67. I do not care anymore. I do not care what people do in their off time. I do not care if someone has a lot of money or Instagram followers. I am just going to do what I want and do things that make me happy and fulfilled. Story 68. I am 28 years old. I have a very good job that pays a large amount of money, and I am currently interviewing for an even higher paid position at one of the biggest software as a service companies in my sector. However, I am considering saying no, joining the military, and becoming a pilot. My dream is to be an astronaut. A more realistic goal is to become a test pilot. I have no other reason for this decision except that I dislike the idea of an ordinary 9-to-5 job. Story 69. I take a power nap almost every afternoon. There are plenty of dark, empty conference rooms. Story 70. I haven't been to trade school in days because the thought makes me vomit, and my parents think everything is fine. They don't understand why I can't just push through, and my school doesn't understand why I can't tell my family what's going on. I have been diagnosed with autism and obsessive-compulsive disorder, and they have no idea. I need mood stabilizers badly, but the last time I saw a psychiatrist, my telehealth appointment was secretly recorded by my family so they could analyze my body language and accuse me of faking mental health issues. I have been on the same wait list at the same doctor's office for antidepressants since I was 12 years old, and now I am an adult. My partner recently went to the doctor for the first time for similar problems, and within half an hour was sent home with exactly the prescriptions I have needed my entire life. Of course, I am happy for them, but the neglect of my health makes me bitter and envious when those around me can get help easily. It is devastating. Story 71. Honestly, I am incredibly self-critical and find it very hard to enjoy any aspect of myself. It has gotten to the point where I have stopped enjoying doing the things I love because I cannot do them perfectly anymore. I am in genuine disbelief when people tell me that they like me because I think I am actually insufferable to be around. I really just hate everything I do. Story 72. I am not living the life I wanted. It is okay, but not what I desired. Some days, it fills me with regret and makes me feel resentful. As a result, I stop taking care of myself. Story 73. I dislike socializing but feel like I miss out when I do not socialize. Story 74. I am a woman who does not like relationships. I am addicted to the experience of new sexual attraction with different men. I dislike relationships and do not want to settle down with one person because there are many attractive men to whom I feel sexually attracted, and I do not want to miss out on the experience with them. I cannot admit this out loud because of society's views on women who enjoy casual sex. Story 75. I have a large family. 5 siblings, 11 nieces and nephews, and 13 great-nieces and nephews. One of my nephews is transgender, assigned female at birth. Most of the family is not aware. Only I and his mother, my twin sister, know. I have arranged that if I die, everything I have, life insurance, retirement account, and my entire estate will go to him. No one else knows, including him. Story 76. I am telling my friends and family that I am doing better mentally, when I am actually just becoming used to feeling this horribly about myself in life. I do not want them to worry about me. Story 77. I had a Reddit account called Private Message Me Dark Secrets, and most of the confessions I received were about being attracted to someone of the same gender. After that, there were many confessions about stealing money from work or family, followed by people expressing that they hate their children and regret having them. Story 78. I am actively engaging in self-harm and considering suicide daily. I am not depressed. I just do not want to continue living this way anymore. Story 79. I moved to the United States to be with my wife and have since started a family. I have lived here for 13 years and I am miserable every day. I do not tell her that I hate it here. Story 80. I do the cooking because if anyone else does it, the kitchen looks like a bomb went off in it. My wife is the much better cook. But my goodness, every minute she spends in the kitchen takes 2 minutes to clean. It is unreal. Story 81. Everyone thinks I am a wholesome person who would never do anything wrong because I tried to be that way growing up. Now I am tired and feel entitled because I have always made good, hard choices. It feels like it is my turn to make easy choices, sit back, and relax, but I cannot. My family says I am doing great, but every day feels like I am sinking deeper into nothing. I worry I will end up single and boring with people saying, "That guy is great," but no one really knows him. He is just a really good actor. Story 82. I have had a $1 million life insurance policy on each of my parents for decades, and my 6 siblings have no idea. Story 83. My best friend of 16 years does not talk to me anymore, and I am glad he made that decision because I only spoke to him out of reluctance to cut contact. We live 15 minutes apart and see each other maybe 3 times a year. I have friends abroad whom I see more often. It is not really a loss at this moment, and we just separated naturally. Story 84. Sometimes when no one is around, I shed my skin and sniff cheese. Story 85. I have the life many people would love to have. I have a great wife and a great daughter. We live in a nice house. I have a decent income at a company that values me. I should be happy, but the truth is I am not. Sometimes I wish I could run away from everything and start over. The truth is I dislike being a parent. Every day I miss doing what I enjoy. Every day, I miss not having responsibility for my daughter. I also dislike living in a house we own. I miss the times when we could move to a new city or town every few years. But I will do everything I can to ensure my daughter has a great upbringing. She should never feel unwanted. She will feel love and support from me, and I will do everything I can to make sure she has a good life. Story 86. I still love my ex-wife after almost 3 years, and I'm living hour by hour, feeling at the worst point in my life. I'm afraid of doctors and need medical attention. I don't have any skills applicable to jobs. And who is going to hire a construction worker in a wheelchair? Who's going to hire a person in a wheelchair with no degrees or certificates? Child support takes most of my income, and I can't afford to get degrees or certificates. I'm incredibly lonely and seriously have no friends anymore because I thought deleting social media would help my mental health, but it has just cut me off. No one calls or texts back anymore. I have to see my ex every few weeks for scouts for our son, and she brings her partner, which just gets under my skin. Every person I've dated since the divorce has ended badly. Every time they've realized that my priority is my son, they either break up with me outright or make me choose between my son and them. I will not be that lame divorced dad who puts the kid on the back burner to chase relationships. I want so badly to be back with his mom and live in a normal family situation. I can't tell anyone but my therapist. My family hates her and isn't big on empathy. Story 87. Honestly, my secret is just keeping things real and having a little fun along the way. Story 88. I am lonely despite having many friends. I want true love and a first kiss. Story 89. I'm addicted to dihydrogen monoxide. I tried detox but no way. Story 90. Just let them go. Beware, it leads to a laid-back lifestyle. Story 91. I feel like I am going to harm myself soon, but I do not have the will yet. All I need is a shotgun. Story 92. People tell me I work too much overtime and that I should take some time off to relax. I tell them I like the money. 12 to 14-hour days are not bad. I am trying to pay off my house faster. The truth is I am depressed and feel so alone all the time. The only time that feeling subsides is when I am around other people. I hate coming home to an empty house. Story 93. I've started cutting myself recently. I don't really know what caused it to escalate. I have already gone through depression twice in my life before this. I did some minor self-harm, like stabbing myself with a ballpoint pen, but nothing major. However, over the last few months, it escalated to a point where I almost had a mental breakdown at school because I forgot my razor blade. Story 94. My big secret is that I have no secrets. Gossip is my passion. Story 95. My father's best friend and my former coach was grooming me when I was 14. I know he assaulted 2 other teammates, and I have not spoken about it. Maybe one day I will, but now I am 35, and it is still difficult to bring it up suddenly. He did not go beyond touching me and trying to kiss me, but he still needs to be in prison. I strongly dislike him, and it is one of the reasons I avoid family functions when I know he will be there. Story 96. I switched my husband's regular coffee with Folgers Instant. Story 97. One of the girls in my class used to forcibly take my lunch every day when I was in 3rd grade. She was a bully, and everyone feared her. I used to come back home very hungry, but I had to wait until dinner, which was 4 to 5 hours later. It was torture. Story 98. I have strong feelings for someone I cannot have. I might even be in love with her. The fact that she is married and has 2 children is only part of the reason she is out of reach, the tip of the iceberg. I have mostly gotten used to it now, but some days it is pretty tough. I am just going to have to live with it. Story 99. No one knows that I am about to break. I am tired. It feels like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. But I am the one who holds everything together in my home life and work life. I just keep moving forward. Story 100. I got a $440 speeding ticket today, and I have no intention of telling my wife. Story 101. I make a point to say hi to small animals like squirrels and birds and help slow-moving insects like snails traveling across sidewalks so they do not get stepped on. But only when people will not see me because I am afraid they will make fun of me. I am in my late 30s with a good job, family, and mental health. I just love these little critters. Story 102. I was a church member for 15 years and have not told anyone that I am not going back. I have unfriended all church members on Facebook. Story 103. I've spent most of my career in fast-paced, male-dominated environments where I am one of very few women. As a result, I have downplayed the fact that I really enjoy domestic activities like cooking and home decor, which are often highly gendered. The women at work who are considered total catches face relentless workplace harassment, and I just want to do my job and go home. Unfortunately, this attitude has also affected my personal life. I do not want anyone to find out that I am a catch because then nosy family members will constantly ask why I am not married with children and try to set me up with people I am not interested in. Story 104. Everyone in my family thinks I am content with being single, but it is actually hurting me inside. I am 23 and have never even held hands with a guy. Meanwhile, both my younger sisters use their attractiveness to get what they want or constantly have. People admiring them, and my 15-year-old brother has a girlfriend. The closest thing I had was being groomed online. I am incredibly jealous of how beautiful my sisters are and how handsome my brother is. I feel like I was given the very short end of the stick. Story 105. I have borderline personality disorder, and none of my friends, family, or anyone else knows, except my cute little kitty. Story 106. Despite my overconfidence, I have deep self-hatred and feel like a complete failure at everything I do. Story 107. I am crazy and hopelessly in love with my best friend, despite him not feeling the same way about me when I confessed at the beginning of the year. Love builds up. It is bottled for the sake of friendship. Story 108. I do not care about my partner's former partner or the parent of their children. I understand that this person has a role in both of their lives, but I do not want to be forced to be around them, and I will not make any effort. Story 109. I have no clue what I am doing in life, and I feel that whatever I have managed to achieve was given to me by mistake. Sometimes it feels like I am only existing. Story 110. One thing I learned about girls from my past relationships is they love to annoy their boyfriends, and nothing pleases them more than tickling. It is very annoying for me as I am very ticklish. When I met my now girlfriend, I knew she would not be any different in the tickling to annoy department, so I decided to act like it did not affect me when she eventually gave in to her annoying instinct. Just like clockwork. She tried tickling me a few months into our relationship, but I looked at her unfazed, and she was disappointed. She kept going for a minute or two to see if it was real, but I soldiered on, all the while dying inside from the torture. We are 5 years into our relationship, and I have since known what peace is like. It was worth the first few minutes of torture that seemed like an eternity at the moment. Story 111. I am unhappy. I do not think my husband loves me. I am not sure now if he ever did. He wanted the perfect life that looks good from the outside, and I gave him that. He has hidden things, made poor financial decisions, lied to me, and maybe cheated. He also ensured I would be financially dependent on him. I think I love him. I care about his well-being. Now, with special needs, children, an entry-level part-time job, and running a home alone because he says his obligations end at providing financially, I am burnt out. I want to be loved with commitment. I want someone who wants to put the same kind of effort into me that I put into them. I thought that was him. I am tired. I feel isolated, abandoned, and alone. I am scared. I am lonely. Deep to my core, I am unhappy. Story 112. I cannot stand my supervisor, and I am tired of doing his job for him. I am tired of him micromanaging and handling things completely incorrectly. Story 113. I am 95% certain I have Klinefelter syndrome, but I am afraid no one will believe me unless I show proof. Story 114. My brother has been antisocial and essentially a loner for almost 15 years, with me being his only and best friend. I also consider him my best friend, but at the same time, I resent him deeply. If he were to die, everything he owns would legally go to me. Being 2 years older than me, he was the first to go through college and graduated from a prestigious school in 4 years with a 4.0 GPA. Now, at 28, he probably makes close to $200,000 but is an extreme minimalist. During the time he was in college, he lived on campus. My parents had to pay for some of his tuition and living expenses, and they would constantly comment about how they didn't have money to send me to live on campus at a 4-year university. So I ended up working a full-time job and attending a community college, which never worked out for me. During my brother's time in college, he had no friends. I would make a 40-mile round trip twice a week to pick him up on the weekends and hang out with him. In high school, I would ditch my friends at lunch and sit with him since he normally sat alone at a lunch table. Without me, For reasons I won't explain, he probably would have never gotten his first job. Now that he's moved out of the house, he wants nothing to do with the family except me. He will also never help me out during difficult times, not referring to money, but something like asking to stay the night. He's extremely closed off, and I can never have a serious conversation with him. After years of helping him, doing him favors and making sacrifices, he'll never do me a favor, and in every situation, he won't ever tell me why. Being the only person he has any relationship with, I am his primary beneficiary. If he were to die, I would immediately inherit a few $100,000 plus whatever investments, stock, cryptocurrency, and retirement accounts he has. On and off, I think about how it would be nice for him to die in a car wreck at age 35 or 40, depending on how much money he has saved, so I could inherit it all. I would never have any intention to harm him, but after all I do for him when he consistently refuses to help me, I want to tell him to go away. He has no idea how much I hate him. For example, I still live with my parents partially to help take care of my grandmother, who raised me and is now suffering from Alzheimer's disease. It is an extremely toxic and abusive environment. When he used to live nearby, he had a second room, and I offered to pay more than half his rent just to use the room a couple of days a week if needed. He refused without giving a reason. When he recently moved, I begged him to consider looking into a 2-bedroom apartment or a place with a garage that could be converted or anything really, since the cost of living where I am is ridiculous. He flat out refused and is currently living in a 1-bedroom apartment, even though a 2-bedroom would cost only $400 more. Naturally, I offered to pay more than half the rent. He still doesn't give me a reason, but we still hang out and play video games like friends do. I often find myself contemplating how sad I would be if he died versus how happy I would be to get all his money and valuables and be financially secure for 20 or 30 years. It's pretty messed up. I won't deny it. Story 115. I don't really feel like I belong anywhere, and I don't think my friends, who I thought were my best friends, think of me the same way. I feel like I've drifted from all of them in the last few years. One reason could be the isolation I experienced with my ex, but now that's over, I never really bounced back. I've tried to contact them, send funny videos, and reconnect, but I feel like I'm far outside the friendship now. This is hard. I'm trying, but it's taking a toll on me seeing my friends being closer with each other and even witnessing them being better friends with my partner, who hasn't been in the group that long. It hurts seeing who I consider my best friends sending them TikToks and messages like that, while our conversations feel empty unless I initiate them. It's hard seeing them have better conversations, and I wish I could go back to the time before I was isolated to fix it and make sure I never drifted like that. It also hurts being removed from their private stories and hearing from my partner, "Oh, someone posted something," and not being able to see it myself. I've tried to bounce back and rekindle the friendship that was weakened, but I don't think that's possible anymore. I recently moved to a boarding school and am studying something I am passionate about, mostly hoping to find friends with the same interests as I have, because deep down I know that if it weren't for my partner, I wouldn't really have any friends anymore. Story 116. I do not know if I will ever be as successful as my friends, and it hurts just thinking about it. Story 117. I am manipulative, and I am so skilled at it that people defend me when others accuse me of being manipulative. Story 118. When I was younger, I went to prison. My wife and immediate family know, but I have never told a soul. Until I slipped up a couple of years ago and drunkenly blurted it out to a friend, who is now in a long-term relationship with my boss. It is still considered a secret regardless. Story 119. She probably has a child with someone, but she never told me and I am afraid to ask. Story 120. I have ruined 2 relationships with absolutely amazing women, including the mother of my child. There was no infidelity on my part, just an inability to accept love. It is painful beyond belief. Story 121. I know I am not a good person, but I have a habit of pretending to be better than I am. Others think I do not mind when they offend or take advantage of me. I perform these supposedly good deeds to be liked, but then I tend to hate myself for feeling the need to be good and liked. Story 122. I am unhappy in my life and feel stuck. Sometimes I think about ending it all, but I pretend everything is fine. I have been going to therapy for almost 3 years now, and I pretend it has cured me. I met someone who turned my life upside down, and I am so unhappy when I should be happy. My future looks bright in terms of my career. I am young, healthy, and did well in school. I am looking forward to going to university in a few days, but I am still unhappy and lying to myself, wishing for something unrealistic. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.